So welcome to B Sports Picks. First, I'm gonna show you guys 5 batter props. We also went 7-3 yesterday. I'm gonna show you the receipts right there. I believe it was 7-3. I can't load up my phone, so it doesn't tell me exactly how much it is, but it was still a winning day, green day. Again, I'm gonna give you guys 5 batter props. I'm also gonna walk you through the steps how to do this if one of the batters is too expensive, or if one of the teams you're looking at is too expensive. I'm going to tell you how to figure that out. I'm also going to give you guys 3 plays that I'm looking at, or 3 teams that I'm looking at. I have not sorted through these, so don't quote me on these. I'm also going to show you 2 pitcher props on how I come up with these pitcher props that I'm starting to do. So let me just get right into it. So the first guy I'm looking at here is Elliot Ramos. You can see over here, it's very expensive. It's the minimum you can get them at is -6, which is ridiculous. So I'm going to show you right in this video how to get this guy live without actually watching the game. I'm going to go through a very simple step-by-step process on how to get this guy live, or any game that's too expensive at the beginning, on how to get this live without watching the game, so it saves you a bunch of time. So let me just kind of show you what happened yesterday. We had the Blue Jays, which was very good, at a +122. Very good odds right there. Pretty much more than double the money right there. Two batter props that got a hit. The Mets won very easily there, 5-0, and then 2 other batter props, and then 2 other props, and then we had an under RBI. And then I actually tried to explain what the hell I was looking at. It was very complicated to even explain this, but it was overall a hit for us. It was a Phillies first half. So it was overall a good day, like I mentioned. Let me get into the Elliot Ramos or any batter prop again. I'm going to show you this process. This is the first time I'm going to explain this in detail. So if you want to stick around for that, it's going to be worth your. So basically what this is something called sports alerts. So for example, if I'm looking at this batter right here for a -600, obviously I'm not going to pay that. There's no way. So what I want to do, I do love the play. I don't love the odds at all, and I cannot get them cheaper. And I don't want to put them as a 2-man with anybody else, just because the odds are so damn expensive. So here's the steps. This is a very simple step-by-step process that I'm going to walk you. That's going to save you a lot of money and juice on the odds. All right, so pay attention to this. This is what I use. Okay, so I got this thing called sports alerts on my phone. This is actually screenshots from my phone. You just download it. It's free. Once you have downloaded the MLB sports alerts thing, you're going to go to the MLB tab, and then you're going to go to players down here. You can see he's got all the games. You don't worry about none of this. You're just going to go to where it says players. Now, once you go to where it says players, is going to give you this screen where it tells you find players and player tracker. This is kind of where it's a little confusing at first. That's why I wanted to do this this little tutorial real quick. But basically, you're going to be under players tab, and this is the way it starts, but you don't want to be on this screen. You want to be on the other screen, which is player tracker. Okay, once you go to player tracker under the players tab, and then you're going to add a player. Okay, once you add a player, you're going to search by last name right here. You always want to search by last name because it won't show up otherwise. Once you see I typed in Ramos right there, this guy comes up, Elliot Ramos. So then once he comes up, you have to actually click on him, and then you'll see the little check mark right here. It comes up as a little check mark. Once he comes up on a check mark, finally, you're actually paying attention to this one player. And you can do this for any game, any period, any inning, all this stuff. But right now, I'm just teaching you how to do this for the player. So when you go to the Ramos right here, you're actually going to click on this little pencil. So now you're tracking this player, but you also want to do one last final little edit. And that last little edit, you're going to click on where it says, once you click on this little edit button, it's going to pop up this menu, and you're going to say to set an alert. Okay. Once you set an alert, you're going to go to where it says player comes to bat and every hit. Okay. That's it. It's that simple. So basically what you're doing is you're basically grabbing this player right here, Elliot Ramos, but then you're paying attention, and you don't even have to watch the game or anything. You're going to get an alert that says Elliot Ramos has come to bat, or he's gotten a hit. So if he comes to bat, you're going to get an alert on your phone, and then you're going to go into your book, and you're going to wait for him to bat. If he does not get a bat, meaning he does not get a hit, the odds drop dramatically. You'll see sometimes the odds drop in half. Okay, then you place your bet. You place your live. I hope that makes sense, guys. Next player I'm going with is Jeremy Pena. He's going to get 1 hit right here. So I just gave you 2 batter props. I hope that's making sense, guys. So again, it's Elliot Ramos to record a hit, Jeremy Pena to record a hit, and then I'm gonna give you 3 under props for RBIs. These I have stopped giving away because they're so, but I just figured, you know what? I'm going to give you guys some batter props. So let me just hook you up. So we got Keibert Ruiz under 0.5 RBIs. All right. And then I have Colby Mayo under 0.5 RBIs. And then we have Vinny Capra under 1 RBI. So if you guys like this breakdowns, man, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to walk you through very quickly the teams that I like. I'm not going to give you the plays because I have to still do the research on them, but basically these are already broken down into the ones that I'm liking. Okay, so I don't even do my research anymore on teams that I'm staying away from. So for example, the night before, I've explained this before. I get an alert. I use a bunch of AIs and a bunch of scrapers and I actually have a team that helps me sort through all this stuff. It's not just me. So by the time I look at this stuff, I already know like teams that I should stay away from. So the night before, I already start looking at which teams I want to look at. So then the next morning I come in, I look at the line moves, I look at the public money and all that stuff. If everything is still matching, then I start a quick little research on 3 different topics that I like. And if they still match from there, then I do the deeper analysis, which is this thing here. So now I don't waste my time going through every single game. It's literally just the top 3 or 4 games. Usually it's only like 2 or maybe 4 games per day that I look at. And then once I have this deep analysis, I sort it through and then I confirm if it's a good game to go with or not. That's how I've been coming up. We were 2-0 yesterday with the Blue Jays and the Mets. So anyways, I'm going to give you the 3 teams that I'm looking at. Again, these are not confirmed yet. I just got this information, so I have to still go through it. So I'm looking at the Mets today. They won for us yesterday 5-0. We're looking at the Yankees, and then I'm looking at the Tigers. Okay, these guys have Screwball on the mound, and he's their ace pitcher. So this is very solid information. Now I wanted to, this is a little more clear now. I was trying to explain this yesterday, but I was all over the place trying to explain. But it's very, very simple actually. Basically, I go into team rankings. This is actually for pitcher strikeouts. So I go into team rankings and I look for pitcher strikeouts. And you can see the rank over here for the Brewers are 15, 20. Don't worry about this rank. What I care about is this last 3 games over here. And once it's over here in the last 3 games, it's sorted. So meaning that these teams right here are the worst teams to get strucken out. You can see it says 12, 12, 11, 9, and so on. So once I grab these 5 teams, I go over into a fantasy alarm and then I compare the Orioles as one of the worst teams to strike out recently. I look at who's going against them and I can see Screwball right here. He's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. So it's obvious that this guy is going to have a shitload of strikes. Okay, so I looked at it earlier and I believe the line was ridiculous. It was like a 7.5 strikeouts, which normally strikeouts for pitchers are like 4.5, 5.5, 6.5. It's very high at 6.5. This all the way to 7.5 strikeouts. And again, that goes because of the reason he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, and he's going against one of the worst strikeout teams as of recently. Okay, I hope that's making sense. So what I have not figured out exactly how I'm going to play these, but it's very strong data. So for example, I can go with over 7.5 Screwball, or I can parlay it down. I can bring it down to a 6.5. So I would get 1 extra strike and then hit that up together with somebody else or hit it with another batter prop or something like that. But here goes the next guy. It's Sonny Gray. And same thing. You can see he's going against the Brewers. And I just showed you the Brewers is number 1 in the last 3 games to strike out. They're number 1 for strikeouts. So you go over here, you look at Sonny Gray. This dude is also very, very good. Look at this. 1 loss, 3.35 ERA, and so on. So now, for example, for Sonny Gray, they want like 6.5 strikeouts. And for Screwball, they want like 7.5 strikeouts. So now what I can do, you can do whatever you want, but basically now you have an extra player that you can do. You can buy it back like a 6.5 or a 5.5 strikeouts, and then hit that up with a team. Or so it's very simple. You look at the worst teams for strikeouts, and then you look at the best pitchers, or if there's a good pitcher against that team today, which it's 2 cases that it is. You can, on top of this, once you start figuring all this stuff out, then you can start looking at under 1 runs on the first inning. You can start looking at first 5 innings, all this other extra stuff that you can start looking at because you're looking at the pitcher stuff and the strikeouts and the worst teams against the best teams and stuff like that. So I hope that's all making sense. Now all of this comes together because stuff like yesterday came up with the first 5 innings for the Phillies. And if you want help building your bankroll, make sure you check out the link in the description. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I appreciate you all that are here all the time. And I hope you learned something today on how to put these batter props if they're too expensive. You can use sports alerts for like first 5 innings, after 1 inning. I love to do this, especially in basketball. So like when basketball is on the regular season, I tend to put in, give me an alert after the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and or if the score changes after like 10 points. So if the score is changed in 10 points, then I get an alert and I say, okay, this team that I like, for example, OK losing by 10, but I believe they're going to win the game, because especially even the Blue Jays was a massive one. Look at this underdog play, plus 122, and that came back as a plus 122. So, all right, guys, man, thank you so much. Let's have a great day.